without further ado, let's move on to the tutorial. Complete with hand cam. So, Cypherin, thank you for the host. And Weapon, thank you for that Doscathlon 3 stream you just did. Always interesting to see how other people are playing these games. Gonna have to do some online attempts of that soon. Anyhow, so Ninja Spirit. So this is just in case there was any confusion. The tournament and this tutorial will be about Ninja Spirit for the TurboGrafx 16, not the Game Boy version, not the arcade version, TurboGrafx version. So let's get out of the sound test. So the first part of this tutorial, I'll be in an emulator. So I have save states to make it easier to move around, show you the stuff. Just for reference, the way timing works is you'll want to start from here. When you hit the start button. Oh. So I'm just using a PlayStation Classic controller here. Use whatever controller you want. In terms of setup, I'm using BizHawk, aka EmuHawk. Pretty standard in the TurboGrafx community. Pretty accurate emulator. If you would like Turbo in this game, which is permitted, you just need to configure it in a permitted configuration. The fastest, you should either choose from 2 frames on, 2 frames off, or 4 frames on, 4 frames off. That said, this game, totally playable without Turbo. In fact, for most of the game, you will not want to be using Turbo. Turbo can be a liability in this game. I will explain that later. Beyond that, you will want to be in PC Engine mode. The other mode is arcade mode. Arcade mode is much harder. You do not want to be running in the race in arcade mode. Thankfully, PC Engine mode is the default. So, with that out of the way, let's start the game. I'm going to walk through some fundamentals. So you see our fine fellow there getting killed by magic. The wolf named Moonlight comes out. And we're in the first level. So, first, looking at the screen, we have our protagonist in the middle. We also have the number 5 over here with our handy cursor. This is the number of hit points you have. You have 5 at the beginning of every level. There is no way to get your hit points back aside from dying or getting to the next level. So remember that. And then over here you have the current weapon that you have selected. There are 4 weapons. You use the select button. Oh, here. Here's the sword. You know, you could do worse than the sword. These walking ninjas are some of the weakest enemies in the game. They'll go down with a hit of any weapon. You can swing in a couple different directions. You can jump, swing down, swing up. But generally speaking, you will not be using the sword for most of the run. Or you press the select button to switch weapons. There's the shuriken. You do not want to use the shuriken. There are these bombs. You do want to use the bombs. The bombs are the best weapon in the game. And then there's the chain sickle, aka the Kusarigama. It's not good. But what you want to do is get used to using the bombs, and you can throw them in different directions. In 8 different directions. But right now, none of our weapons are powered up. In fact, if you look at all of them, they all have that cyan background. So that's the next thing we're going to do. So let's start walking. Note, you have limited air control while you're jumping. You can attack while jumping. You can control how high you jump. Also with the bombs, you can throw them, but you can also place them on the ground like this. Generally speaking, you're not going to be doing that expressly on purpose. You'll be doing it because you're because of the power-up you haven't seen yet. So let's go get some power-ups. So there was that orange ninja. I killed him. He dropped a red scroll. So now, if you'll notice, my bomb icon on the heads-up display has a red background. That means it's powered up. And what you'll see now is I can have multiple grenades in flight at once. This is important, because when you start you can only have one grenade in flight at once, which means that you can't throw grenades very quickly. And it also means if you miss with a grenade, you either have to wait for it to go off the screen, or wait for it to explode. Now you can have three in flight at a time. Oh hey, Mr. Energy. How's it going? So now that we have that, keep on moving. We'll eventually get another orange ninja. Kill him. It's a blue scroll. And now we have a clone who mimics my moves at a delay. There's another orange ninja. It was a pink scroll. What that did was it's a smart bomb. So it kills all the enemies on screen. Its effects are not immediate. Generally speaking, the smart bombs are not that important. Since I was fooling around talking about the controls, I did eventually take enough damage to die. Oh yeah, this is much easier than Trojan. And with this tutorial, it should be easier yet. In terms of movement, so you notice I'm walking. Walking on the ground is the fastest way to move horizontally. Every time you jump, you lose a couple of frames, and also your motion in the air is a little bit slower than walking. So we got our second ninja clone from that, from the orange ninja that spawned right here. And you can only hit the maximum number of ninja clones is 2. So now we've got quite the arsenal going. You'll notice these ninjas jump. They will jump and slash, and you'll also notice you see that monk spinning his bow staff. The monks are dangerous enemies because almost always they are one-hit kills, and it's the staff that does the one-hit killing. So right now he's just running, chasing. If I jump, oh here, I just got hit. Let's see the other moves that the bow staff monks have. Okay, well here I just killed that one out of reflex. Let's get another one. If we wait, another one will come. Now if I jump, come on. Okay, so he'll jump. Oh, do these not have the throwing logic yet? In later levels, they will also throw their staff at you. And it's just important to note that when they throw the staff can still kill you. But when they're just sitting there waiting for the bow staff to return, the monk itself does not have any hitbox. Or hurtbox, I should say. You can still kill them. Note, when you die or game over, it resets you back to the sword. While you should not be dying on the first level after you know the speedrun, there are several places in the game to where death can come quickly. So, good to remember that. Here we have, I call them the fireworks ninjas because they shoot up into the sky and then spray kunai all over the place. And here's our first boss. So I have the fast turbo set up on some of the other buttons. Just shoot up at the head and it blows up. So at this point I've talked about most of the fundamentals. So now I'm going to start with what I call the basic sort of beginner speedrun strats. So there's a little bit more focus on safety and on just learning the whole game. So won't be talking about a lot of advanced technique first. I will, after finishing that, I will do what I would call like advanced speedrun techniques, which introduces riskier concepts or just more difficult techniques. And then after that, I will do some runs, and I'll do no reset runs, and I'll try to focus on race safety. To be honest, I have not considered race safety much with this game, but you can at least see how I react to the game throwing weird stuff at me, because it's got some randomness to it. It's not 100% manipulatable, so you need to, as you practice this game for racing, you will need to get to know how to deal with various situations. So, on that note, let's begin. I will go level to level, show off what there is to show off. I'll probably repeat some of the bosses a few times, and we'll walk through the game. So stage 1, you've already seen some of it, but you start off, switch to grenades, and then start walking. It is random whether the orange ninjas will come from the left or the right. I recommend, when you're starting off, just take the time to stop walking to grab the first 2 power-ups. There's a red and a green, there's a red and a blue power-up, so you'll get powered up grenades. And you'll get powered up, you'll get 1 ninja clone. On that passage, just sort of jump and attack your way through it. Note, if you're walking and you try to attack, you'll stop walking. But if you jump and attack, you don't stop moving. So, in general, that's some pretty good movement to get used to. Oh, a question. Is there any real change in the very last part of the game? Nope, not really. Note, I haven't played the actual arcade version. I have played the arcade mode of the TurboGrafx version. It is, the levels, like the level design is exactly the same, but there's more enemies, there's more difficult enemies, and the bosses have more health, and it's no hit points. There's no life bar, so it's more than just no life bar. But the arcade game, I don't know much about. Beyond that, it certainly looks similar to this game. So, at this point, after you make it past the little swamp area, there's more temple. You can go up here. That was another red power. No, that was another blue power-up. So now we have both ninja clones. There's another red power-up. I can pick it up, could not pick it up, doesn't really matter. Because it's powered up grenades that you most care about. So at this point, we have all the power-ups we need for the game, so long as we don't die. So in this section, you're just trying to avoid getting killed, taking a whole lot of damage from all these jumping ninjas. As the monks come in, either jump over them or mow them down as they show up. You can pick up this last pink scroll, maybe clear out any straggler ninjas as they go. Come over here and just start throwing grenades. I'm not using turbo, I'm just tapping gently. And there's only so many of them. And after all that, just line up in the center. You can get all your clones underneath you. And just do one big jump, and aim up, and then throw grenades. And I won't even use turbo for this, just, there you go. Throw grenades right at its face. There is some amount of RNG, and how long it takes for for Ashura to die, the first boss. And that's it. Here, let's, come on, Ninja Spirit. There you go. We can do it again here. Here I only have 1 clone, because that's advanced rat. Only getting 1 clone to reduce lag. But the extra firepower is just generally not needed. 1 clone gives you enough for all of the quick kills. Yeah, 1-hit death in this game is pretty tough. So, here we are in level 2. Here's another interesting movement mechanic. If you walk off a ledge, notice how much my horizontal speed slows down. Like I almost stop. And that's why you should never walk off a ledge if you can help it. But if you jump off a ledge, you maintain most of your horizontal speed. So keep that in mind. At the beginning of the second stage, you spawn right here on this limb. So just immediately hold right to jump and then start moving. Now, you'll notice, since I have all the power-ups I want, there's these orange ninja. I'm just gonna, don't need to jump up there to get them, just walk. In this section you can jump up. I'm jumping so I don't attack while standing on the ground. And just kill off the ninjas, don't take damage from them. Now here, this orange ninja right here has a fire shield. It's the only power-up we haven't seen yet. So, I'm going to walk back and collect it how I normally collect it. This is the fast way to collect it. But, you don't have to be that fancy. You can just walk right underneath it, kill it, and jump up. Oh, the last boss. Yep, I will talk about how to handle the last boss later, but, yeah, it's an interesting boss. So, note about the fire shield. It deals damage, but it does not actually shield you. You can still take damage through the fire shield, so remember that. It is not an invincibility shield. But it is convenient because in places to where it can kill enemies before they damage you, it allows you to walk without having to jump or attack otherwise. And here, we're at the end of the forest with the second boss. This is another very straightforward boss to kill. Just get your clones underneath you by jumping, aim up, and then the minute it's vulnerable, hold attack. I used a turbo there, but you can even do it with, I'll show you, it's possible with one clone and without turbo. So let's see. There you go. And the second boss is down. Apologize for the cursor on the screen. I'm keeping it around so I can point out things. So now we're on the third level. This is where these stages start to get harder. The Big Mike, how's it going? So you're gonna, we get to see two new enemies in this level. One, he's right here, the Rifleman. They will shoot at you, they will pursue you, and jump and kill them. And since this is beginner strats, we're gonna do this, but watch out. This guy, Zombie Samurai, aka the DeVito. Watch out for the DeVitos because they spawn in and the sword arc is a one-hit kill. You do not want to get struck down by the DeVitos. So what you want to do is when you see it, first don't get killed, but then just jump over them. You don't need to kill the DeVitos. But you also want to make sure not to jump right into one. So, gonna walk. Keep on walking. Now we're on the next segment here. We've got jumping ninjas. In general, just kill those jumping ninjas. Now, we're in an interesting new section. Swamp, except this swamp, you walk slowly in. You don't want to be walking through this. Oh, there's a bow staff monk. So now that we're here, you actually want to be jumping. And you'll notice now the bow staff monks are throwing their staves. Still a one-hit kill. So, two ways to deal with it. One, oh, you have spirit wolves. Those were the second stage. You also notice since I've been talking and trying to do other stuff, I took a lot of damage. So, for me, this is the first stage where taking too much damage, taking lethal damage, starts to be a concern. So, let's start over at the beginning of this stage. Not that. Not that. There we go. So, let's talk on a little more strats. So the riflemen are here. Now you're a beginner, just, see the DeVito? And just jump over it. Or you could kill them. They go down pretty quickly with grenades. Try not to take too much damage here. Here I'm jumping and I'm throwing grenades up. just to take out these ninjas. Now here, in the swamp zone, this is one of the few places to where I will switch to sword. You're saying, why sword? You said sword was not good. Swords are useful in that these wolves that are spawning in, you can hit them with your sword pretty easily. You can also press up when you're attacking, press down when you're attacking. You can take it, whoop, see? That monk came out and threw its staff. A good reaction when they do that, pull back and you can just get out of the way of that staff. Wait for it to come around, jump over it again. And here we are at the end of the level. So, easy strat. Switch back to your grenades. Line up here on the rock. And just attack. Roll them down. As long as you have the powered up grenades and at least one clone, it's not a problem. Here, let's... And just to show you, one clone, no turbo, still totally doable. Yeah, the translations of the different bosses and boss names are interesting. So, that was that stage. Moving on to the next stage. This is like the abandoned temple complex. Pretty quick change in mood. Because on this level, you are suddenly introduced to Kusarigama Ninja. And unlike your Kusarigama, their Kusarigama is a one-hit kill. And it has a great reach. So you need to learn how to handle the Kusarigama Ninja on this level. There are also spikes that are one-hit kills. They're relatively... Once you know that they are lethal, they are easy to avoid. Also, this is the first level you get ceiling physics. You can jump up here. The main hazard there is if you're trying to hop, but accidentally hold just a little bit too long, then you'll transition. Going both. Also, you can't hop while you're on the ceiling. If you press jump while you're on the ceiling, you're just going to drop. For this first room, though, I do not go on the ceiling. So, let's go. So there, you'll see, also the Kusarigama Ninja spawn both on the floor and the ceiling. So you'll notice this one right here. He's primed, and basically when they spawn, they are going to attack. They will choose to attack left or right. It is typically based on where you are at the moment that they're about to swing. So it is possible sometimes to be walking right past them, and they will strike to the left, which is safe. But this one, he's about to slash to the right. So let's jump. Just jump out of the way. Jump. Jump. You can kill them. In fact, I'm going to kill this one right here. There you go. Generally speaking, you would want to throw 2 grenades at them. One can kill them, but if you're just going for safety, just focus on killing them. There's an advanced strat here. I'll talk about that later. It has to do with lag reduction or lag prevention. But at first, just focus on surviving. Get your first goal when speedrunning, learning this speedrun, is to get a deathless run. And here we go. We got to the end. You can walk off the steps, or you can do a little pop at the very end so you avoid losing velocity. So here's the second room. So first you'll notice you can barely see there's these sharpened bamboo spikes. These are one-hit kills, and there's large parts of the bottom of the level that have them. So don't jump into these. But what we're going to do here is we're going to jump up onto the ceiling. We're going to ride it all the way to the end of the room. So jump up. Now there's a couple different strats to this. I would say, see, I use a grenade strat. I'll do that for the advanced pass. But for now, here, let's jump back down here. Switch to sword, and you'll notice I've got powered up sword at this point. So, let's do this. Go here, and just slash to get rid of ninjas that are in your way. And just walk. Remember, if you hit the jump button while you're up on the ceiling, you're going to fall down. And on this level, that typically means falling down in the spikes. The minus of this approach is that it doesn't necessarily deal with lag as well. So, here we are at the end. Here, I'll show off the little bunny hop. Bunny hop's not that big a deal. Don't worry about it. And now we're in the third room, the Crusher hallway. So you'll probably already noticed the ceiling is starting to fall. So, the good news. As long as you're just moving right, you'll be in no real danger of being crushed. So, switch back to the grenades. In here, just keep on moving. All these ninjas will spawn. Just keep on moving. If you do it well, make it here. Cool. You can jump out of the way of the smoke bombs. If you've done the first 2 rooms well, you will have 5 hit points. So you'll have 4 hit points to waste away before you get here. And now here is the cursed stones. So for the speed run, well, 1, just killing them with powered up with clones and powered up bombs, not that big a deal. Doing it fast is harder. There's a large difference between doing the stones quickly versus letting them meander. So for now, let's just do it. You can start the fight by, when you get about here, you can figure, you'll get a feel for where you should start, but like around here, you walk in, jump, and then shoot up there. This is probably the boss that benefits the most from Turbo. Not because of rate of fire, just like being able to maximize your firepower. And there it goes down. That was not a fast kill, but let's do it a few more times. I very much recommend, even if you have real hardware, save state practice this boss. No, that's how this boss kills you. It has only 1 hit kills. So again, if you only have 1 hit point coming in, that's just fine, because 5 hit points won't help you. You also notice here, I'll show this when there's no hit flashing. So there's the 2 stones, and they have 4 of these little yellow inlays each. You need to kill all of the inlays, but the hitboxes on both the grenades and the hitboxes on the inlays are a little weird. So you gotta get a feeling for it, get a feeling for how deep the explosions penetrate into the rocks from either side. And then also, there's just some general weirdness in how damage procs to the bosses in this game. So first, I would say practice this boss just to get used to its general movement, how you escape getting killed by it, like without even attacking. In general, so long as you are focusing on staying mobile and not getting crushed from below. It's not too bad. Or crushed between them. They can crush you. The 2 rocks can crush you in between. They can also crush you up against the walls or the floor or the ceiling. Nope, you can go up to the ceiling here. Generally speaking, I think it's a pretty bad idea. Because the only thing you can do when you're on the ceiling is walk and fall down. You can't reach it from the floor though. You can reach it from up here though. It's sort of weird. I thought you could reach it from the floor. So this is good practice. Just dodge. Get used to dodging. But then next. See that? So now I'm going to show you the quick kill here. Or at least the quickest kill I found. It's all about getting a good setup and trying to manipulate the way they move and dealing just a ton of damage as they're going past you. So jump up, fire your salvo there. Walk, jump up. Come through. Okay, so I missed it there. So I missed it again. What I'm looking for is... I am not getting it. And honestly here, this is more for... Okay, so you'll notice here. Oh wow, I paused it just as I was killing it. This was a very fast kill. You'll notice that by the time this box was moving from right to left, I'd already killed all of the inlays on it. That's what you want to see, because then you can focus on killing this block while it's still stationary. Oh, weird. It was playing the sound for one. Okay, so now just since I paused in the middle, it's not going to work. So, pressing the wrong button. Okay, there we go. Then move up against the second block. Oh, So there, the right block moved first. In terms of race strats, you need to be prepared for that, because as you noticed, it was immediate death. So if you can get this, what you want to do is, you can try to just keep on shooting this block from right where I'm standing, but more conservative is, I'll unpause and then I'll walk over. Just walk over right up against it and then resume firing. So, in here I'd already done a ton of damage, so it wasn't strictly necessary on that one, but it's a way to make sure your grenade explosions are going deep enough into the cursed stone to damage the other side. So I'll just do it a couple more times to demonstrate. But yeah, I really recommend, this is a good boss to save state. Not just for the quick kill, but also just to get used to different variations and just be prepared for different stuff can throw you. Because so here, that's what happened when I didn't get closer to it. That's fine. Let's finish it off. Also note, this is a boss that stresses the importance of, if you're using turbo on this boss, which is not the worst idea, but notice, if I'm just holding turbo and trying to walk, I'm not going anywhere. Which in general, like, for some bosses is not a big deal. You don't really need to move. But in this boss fight, you want to make sure that you can still be mobile. And sometimes that means just being able to jump, but that also means just being able to walk, get out of the way, walk off the top of a stone if you're on it. So just in general, keep that in mind. I'm learning so much about the music in this game from this tutorial, because I usually do not hear all of the songs. The level is finished before the song completes. So got the weird pattern. The other stone moved, but just go with it. And now let's proceed on to the next level. Oh, yes, weird groan. It goes, wah! So, the cliff level. So first of all, do not make a mistake. This is the one level where you need to go up. If you try to go left or right, it will just wrap endlessly. This is also the level where smooth movement actually makes a difference. Because in most of the other levels, like you're talking about, you know, maybe a second or two over the course of the whole level from bad movement. But for the most part, the ideal movement is hold right. Don't attack while you're walking, attack while you're in the air. Jump when you need to, but not too much. This one is all about, well, how close can you trim your jumps to land on the ledges that you need to. So I'm going to show you the route I take. I actually think it's an easy route. I don't think it's a difficult route to do, but this is a level you just need to memorize, in my opinion. Bonus, if you go through it quickly, and I don't mean like super optimized quickly, just if you follow the route and don't miss any jumps, then you won't have to deal with any of the smoke bombs or eruptions on this level. So that's good, because if you have to deal with a lot of those, you're going to take damage and you can totally die. So, on that note, let's start this one from a save state so that we are going fresh. So, I'll play this one a few times so you can get a feel for it. And note, I'll be highlighting this so you can refer to it. So, start off, jump here, jump up. Dude, no, I'm already doing it wrong. Okay, jump once, twice, 3 times, then you can cover 2 ledges at once. 1, 2, then full jump, full jump, full jump. 1 ledge up, full jump. Jump here, jump here, jump here, then you can do a long jump, short jump, half jump, full jump, and now we're at the top. So, let's do that again. I'll do it without the narration. Jump, 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 full jump, jump, full jump, jump, So here we are at the kite boss. Oh, well, I use grenades. With the right timing on the grenades, you can kill the boss before they even clear the edge of the cliff. And that is what you were going for. So, let's do it. Stitch it all together. J Machine, how's it going? Whoop. I tripped. And notice just that trip, suddenly like there's more ninjas spawning. They've caught up with me. Okay, in here, I'm gonna pause. So, I want to land on the top of the cliff, and then I need to jump up to spawn the boss. I'm gonna jump up into the air. And here, I'll even make a save state for it. Because I didn't have a save state prepared for this one. So I'm gonna land on the cliff. I'm gonna do a full jump up to scroll the screen up to spawn the boss. But when I get to the top, I'm going to start firing, doing turbo firing, grenades straight down, and I'm just going to sit there and hold that until the boss is dead. So, watch it. Jump in. And there you go. So that was not the fastest one. There's a timing element to get the fastest kill, but even there. Killed the boss before it threw any kunai. So let's try that again. Oh, you know what? I was doing experiments on this. I know what's going on. Pardon me. I was fooling around with different, no? 2 up, 2 down. There is some weird frame rule-like behavior in this game. Basically, if you're at a save state that's close to a boss, you can only get so quick a kill. So I think on this one, the fastest kill I'm going to be able to get is right there. And just to show that you don't need turbo for it, I'll do it without turbo. It's just a little bit slower. Like at the end, I aimed the last few bombs upward, but they're, again, a very straightforward boss to kill. And that's really the theme of this game. Like, this Cursed Stones boss warrants some practice, so you can get used to how to react to its patterns. Almost every other boss, you just need to learn how to set up and kill the boss, and you barely even need to move. Like that one, you don't have to move. So, important to note. Now here, the infamous stage. This is where runs go to die. And even in a race setting, and even to this day when I'm playing the game, even at the most aggressive, this is the stage that I'm actually most afraid of. For 2 reasons. 1, there is a plethora of one-hit kill enemies, and 2, there are several places to where it is easy to just take a lot of casual damage and then run out of health later in the stage. So this is definitely the stage to also practice backup strats. Like know if you die at the very beginning or at the checkpoint, the midpoint checkpoint, where the power-ups are. Anyhow, well, let's do it. So you start off, and we're going to get a new enemy. This guy. He has a katana. He will draw it and strike. So you'll see it right there. So it does have a decent hitbox. It's not as bad as the DeVitos. He will not strike in the air. So he will jump. When he is in the air, he is largely harmless, but he will chase you down. So you'll notice, yep, immediately starts moving around. More spawning. Good news, relatively weak. You'll also notice these kunai showers coming from all directions. These, they only do 1 damage, but the 1 damage will add up over time. So you can dodge them. It's sort of tricky. If that was the only thing you had to do in the level, it would be great, but it's not. So move the cursor out of the way. Just in general. Okay, now we've moved away from the Ronin. Now we have jumping ninjas. I picked up a flame shield along the way. You can memorize where that is, but remember, the flame shield is not a guarantee against damage. And now we have kite ninjas throwing more kunai. So you can probably tell. And then we have the bowstaff monk now. So this is a tricky stage. My advice is that this is the stage I am most likely to do save state practice on before I start running. So, and we just passed the first checkpoint. So here, note, when the bowstaff monks are in the air, they do have their hurt box active. Oh, and I took my last kunai hit. So, I am going to show you a safety strat of sorts. So if we start at the level, I would say stick with grenades for the Ronin segment. And here, just, I would say, if you want to be safe, maybe don't commit. Like, don't jump high into the air if you don't see a Ronin. Or just be ready to stop. Like, just walk and jump when you have to try to avoid having, like, these committed jumps to where you might land on a Ronin about to strike. When you get to here, with these jumping ninjas, switch to sword and start slashing. And here you get to see the other utility of the sword. The sword parries. So if you strike the kunai with your sword, it destroys them. And then they aren't flying through the air and they aren't damaging you. Now the problem here is that sword, not great on the bowstaff monks. It is good for these kite. And also, just in general, it's not, you'll notice, it's not killing these things very quickly. So that's the hazard. But it does kill the regular grunt ninjas. It will parry the bowstaff, which you might be thinking, oh, that's great. But it actually can be very bad. Because when it parries, it sends the bowstaff back to the monk, which, depending upon what side of the staff you're on, might send it right back at you. So, here, now let's do this with just... Let's do this as I play it, with just grenades. Note here, I'll try to pick up a extra ninja clone to show you what it would be like in my recommended sort of beginner configuration. Like, you just get the extra clones, it's a little bit of extra firepower. Makes it easier to do this. Like when you're jumping, just shoot straight, and you cover, like, most of the screen. But you also notice I've already taken a whole bunch of damage, so the stage is rough. And I got hit with a bowstaff. Here, let's play from here. As you are learning, this will be a common occurrence. Like, oh, you die after the checkpoint here. Cool. Switch to grenades. There's a power-up. Already taken a bunch of damage. We don't have the red power-up yet. There, get that. And now just focus on, like, try not to get hit by kunais. Easier said than done. Maybe just pause in certain places. Just kill everything. Maybe dodge on the ground. You'll notice there, bowstaff monk was coming right for me. Wasn't going to be able to get out of the way of him. Well, try to kill him. Because if you the minute you kill the bowstaff monk, the bowstaff disappears. So, here we are at the boss. This is easy as possible, because technically speaking, you don't even have to do anything. You could just sit here. You will lose, I think, what, like 5 seconds, 6 seconds? But just get up on this rock. Now, what you should do, though, is just throw grenades. Kill them as they spawn. And that's it. Honestly, I think this is just an oversight. What is the context of the opening? Well, there's what they claim is the plot, and then there's my headcanon. But yeah, the official plot is, in the opening, that's your father, and then you are the vengeful son. Okay, so here we are, and we are on the last level. So you start off in these caves. There are 2 hazards in this cave. 1, those little puffs of smoke, they do damage. And even worse, you don't have consistent iframes, so they can do anywhere from 1 damage to 5 damage, and anywhere in between. So generally speaking, you'll want to try to memorize where the smoke puffs happen. Also note, this is another stage. You can walk on the ceiling. Don't recommend it, especially in any percent. Also, the terrain is uneven. I know, hey, look, because we're buddy the Ronins. So they will spawn in. So just in general, there are power-ups to get here. So if you lose your power-ups, you can go get them. Recommendation here is learn where the smoke puffs are. Try not to take damage. Ideally, you want to reach here with 3 life or more. Now, here is, for people playing this game blind, this segment is the hardest part of the game. But once you know the trick and practice it, it's not so bad. So I'm going to make a save state here. The Ninja Pit of Death. So if I just fall, whoa, there's all these ninja. And they're flying up, and they all do 1-hit kills. Because you'll notice, I started with 5 health. And you can try to shoot. And it does not matter. In fact, all it does is cause more lag. You are slowing down your eventual death. So, there are multiple ways to do this, but I have a way that like 9 times out of 10, I do it without a death. And that is this, and I'll show it a bunch of times. Walk off the ledge, then hold left. Move back, hesitate, wait there, and move over here. And at this point, once you get over here, just make sure you stay within the bounds of this. You can see there's this ninja and this ninja. Just make sure you're staying in between them. Fall all the way down to the bottom. And that's it. So let's see that again. And this is just one. Once you know how to do it and practice it, make it muscle memory, it's not that big a deal anymore. But when you first do it, it will feel incredibly frustrating. So pull back. Hesitate briefly. Okay, I did too much. Doesn't take much. And that's why I hope you can see my thumb on the D-pad here. Doesn't take much. Wait there, and that's it. So there's 2 hesitation points. 1. Wait, and then slip over here. And then you're just hanging out. Don't shoot anything. It'll just slow everything down. The great Shokusenbutsu. So that's it. And the pattern is always the same. So that's the good news. You don't have to memorize a whole bunch of different patterns. Once you find a pattern that works for you, I recommend the one I'm doing because it's super fast. But yeah, you can do it every time. Whether you die and have to try it again, no matter how many power-ups you have, ninja clones, everything, it's always the same. And here, once more. And now we are headed to the final boss. Thankfully, the final boss. So here I have 5 hit points. That's obviously ideal. But it is, no matter how few, you could even have 1 hit point. If you have 1 hit point, well, I guess you have a choice. If you're going for a PB and you're trying to be deathless, trying to be fast, I would say you gotta YOLO it. You just gotta try for the kill, even though you have 1 health. You'll probably die. But, if you have 2 hit points, even 3. 3 is the minimum to have expectation of. I'm sorry, what I meant to say is, if you're racing, then you might choose to say, well, I'm gonna go for a slower kill. That is less risky for me to risk a death. And note, you can double KO in this game, but if you double KO, then you don't win. It'll spawn you back, and you'll have to fight the boss again. Let's see. 2 ninjas appear, they drop a power. Yep. So, I'll start with, what is the kill supposed to look like? So you're going to drop, and here I'm going to do the easy kill. Just drop down, note. So your target is this ball, the crystal ball. It's not his head, it's not any other part of his body. You need to hit right here. So fall straight down without holding the D-pad. Just move over a little bit, aim up, and throw grenades. And just tank the damage in there. That's fine. So here, 0. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I will make a save state after I play through the caves again. So I took 1 damage from that smoke bomb. So there I had to just choose to stop moving to kill the Ronin before he slashed me. Go here. Right here. Here, I'll make the save state so we don't have to watch this all again. I will also show what a backup kill for the boss looks like if you do die for whatever reason. There. So, just land, kill him. And note, I only have 3 hit points here. Slightly faster strat. As you're going, go right, left, shoot him, get 1 early shot. But as it turns out there, that just earned me a double KO. Let's try that again. And much like the bow staff monks and a couple of other different and the smoke bombs, his magic does sort of variable damage. Sometimes it will do no damage. It'll just barely miss your hitbox. The magic has a very weird hitbox, and its movement is random. So it's pretty hard. You know, it can one-shot you. It's possible. It doesn't usually happen, but it can one-shot you. Or you could just sit there and it looks like the magic is just hovering around you, not dealing any damage. So now I'm going to purposely die. Favorite way to personally die? Jump into the crystal ball. Do not land on the crystal ball. When you are falling into the boss room, don't hold left. You'll land on the crystal ball. Here. Here, I'll do exactly what I say not to do. Drive home the point. Oh, well, okay. As it turns out, it's pretty difficult to land on it on purpose. Just make sure you don't do it on accident. So here now, I don't have any power-ups. So the right ninja is a clone. That's not what you want to go for, actually. What you want is this one, which gives you power-up. I should have picked... I should have picked a grenade. You don't want to use the sword on this guy. So let's do that. Switch to grenade. Come over here. Pick up the red, and now just start advancing on it. That's it. So that is what I would call like sort of the rolling beginner style tutorial to this game. In summary, use grenades, get fully powered up, don't worry about lag reduction, and I would say practice this, whether you're doing attempts or just save state practice, practice until you get your first deathless run. And then decide where you want to take it from there. But deathless will be, unless you are being extraordinarily cautious, like if you are trying not to be slow and you have a deathless run, should be a sub 10, and that's a great place to start. It's also a great way to get comfortable with the overall flow of the game. Now, for advanced strats, debating, I'm going to switch to, no, I'm going to stay on the emulator so I can use save states some more. I'm going to go through this a little bit more quickly. Because I'd also say you can... Oh, what's the strategy when falling down just before the final boss? Here, oh, I don't have a save... Here. Since you asked, I will show it off once more. You know, notice here I'm not using turbo. I'm doing individual manual taps. That's to make sure that when I throw a grenade, I'll actually get a grenade. So, here it is. Walk off, go hard left, hesitate for a moment, hesitate here for a little bit longer, and now you're over in the safe spot. And that's it. So just practice it, make it muscle memory. There's no other way to go about it. It is not random ninjas. It is the same pattern every time. So if you get used to that, if you just memorize the path through it and make it muscle memory, it is much easier, at least for me. I still occasionally miss it, but it's a rare occurrence. But then again, I've been playing this on and off for a year, so. But also, like, there's this, like, what I'm doing here, it isn't even like a speed strat, it's just like, this is the same way after Mike taught me about the pattern that I've always done it, so I don't know that there's any easier way to go through this. There's definitely a lot of harder ways. I think I've seen at least one video of somebody taking this torturous path, like trying to cut back and forth. It's, no, I don't recommend that. Okay. A ninja shmup. Well, with the grenade strats, it definitely has that sort of weird feeling to it. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit less in-depth talking. I'm going to talk about what I would call advanced strats are. So the advanced strats are a little bit riskier. You're going to need to have a grasp of all the fundamentals. The arcade version does have a different pattern, I know that. That's about all I know about the arcade version. But PC Engine version, what I showed. So just like before, switch to grenades. You're waiting for the orange guy. It is possible to hit the orange guy without having to walk back. You're going to be pretty optimized by the time that that's a reset. But also there are backup ninjas. In this, I just want one red scroll and one blue scroll. So I didn't get the blue scroll. I didn't want to turn back for it. So let's keep on going. Gonna damage boost on some of this just to avoid jumping. I'll get up here. And this ninja that's going to spawn right up here, it's a guaranteed blue scroll, so just jump up, grab it, you don't even have to slow down. There's the backup red. When I get to this stage, this phase of the stage, just you're trying to avoid jumping into a bow staff monk. And beyond that, just trying to avoid taking lethal damage. Get over here. As you do the jump, while in midair, you can just tap to the left and turn around. And you'll land like this. And that's exactly the position you want to be. And I don't use turbo for this section. At least not anymore. I just tap. You can get 3 grenades in flight at all times. And just take out all these ninja as soon as they pop out. And then I have a terrible secret to share. The quickest kills on most of these bosses is seemingly random based on some sort of unseen seed. So if you're grinding for extra fast times, there's going to be a lot of resetting. And whether you do manual tabbing or even turbo, there's still variance, and I have yet to be able to explain it precisely. So I believe reverse engineering will be the next frontier on getting the quickest kills on all of the bosses in a single run. So here we are here. Hold right, jump. You just tap jump so you don't walk off that ledge and lose time. I'm gonna walk. In this section before the bridge, just walk. Now you get to here. Jump and attack down for each ninja approaching you. And as you do that, you will take out some of the spirit wolves. That will reduce lag some. So keep on walking. Jump up, snag this fire shield. And with the fire shield, you can just walk through this entire section. But probably going to see... Nope, we got good orange ninja spawns. In the advanced technique, you only want one clone for basically the entire game. And the reason is having two clones for some of the later boss fights creates a lot of lag. So staying with one clone is a lag reduction strat. It does say here. I like to jump off the screen just to amuse myself, but from actually playing it at emulator, it does not appear that that creates any lag frames to just sit there and watch the explosions. So do whatever you want. So this level, the biggest one is being able to walk. Try to minimize the number of jumps, but don't take a bunch of damage. But also don't jump into the DeVito that's about to spawn. And the DeVito spawning pattern is a little bit random. So you gotta sort of, as you practice it, you'll learn when to anticipate when the DeVito is late. And when the earliest DeVito is. So in this section you're looking to not take a ton of damage from these jumping ninja. But then here, the minute you get to the swamp, switch to the sword and start jumping as soon as you hit the water. Here there are bow staff monks that come in. I am looking to avoid them, not to kill them. Even better if they spawn behind you and you just drag them along. Be careful not to collect any power-ups. But just slash when you're jumping, trying to take out the spirit wolves, take out any ninja jumping at you, whatever. You're trying to not take a whole bunch of incidental damage and eventually get killed. Oh yeah, you don't need to worry about Ashura. Like there's no, as far as I found, like there is no consistent technique to get like the fastest kill. Just get underneath him, jump up, get one of your clones closer, and just mash. Mash with grenades. So, here we are. Same setup here. Again, no difference. Oh no, you gotta switch to grenades though. So here, definitely do not use turbo fire while you're in here. So what I'm doing here is, as I jump, I'll also want to throw in straight up attacks to clear out the ceiling ninja. And if ninja spawn on the ground level, like the walking ninja, clear them out with a down throw. So that's the only difference. Here I jump up, and now in advanced strats I don't switch to the sword, I just use grenades. And here it's a little bit weird. I'm going to be walking, and then when I get a ninja approaching me, when I get to him, I'm going to press diagonally up and left, diagonally up and right, and fire one grenade, and keep on walking. And the idea is to basically, for the lead ninja, to throw a grenade that immediately hits the ninja right when I'm on top of him. So it kills this ninja. The explosion will kill any ninja that's right on the opposite side, and my trailing clone ninja will drop a grenade here, and I'll sort of follow along, and any ninjas behind will get swept out. And the goal again here is, well, one, it saves you from switching weapons, but two, it does a better job of cleaning out more of enemies to try to cut down on lag. It's not a perfect strat, but the grenades themselves are less likely to cause lag, and you have a good chance of wiping out a lot of these enemies. With the sword, it's a little bit trickier. So let's see how this plays out. Just watch me. And you're just waiting until you get to the end, and got a little bit of lag there. Just drop down, do the bunny hop, go down. Now, here is a reset point that sometimes hits me. If you're going for the advanced strats, like you're trying to push down into like 90x times. So you want to walk through here. Notice I have 5 hit points. Pretty easy to make it to the Crusher Cave with 5 hit points. But here, there's these dudes. Okay, now here's, I don't want to collect either of the power-ups these orange ninjas have. The first one drops a red power-up. Not that big a deal. But the second one drops a blue power-up. So there, that was a good spawn. He came right at me. I was able to hop over him, kill him. He's going to leave his blue power-up there where I don't want to pick it up. That's fine. There are 2 worse patterns. One is that he's following you. That's still pretty easy. You just hop. You just hop the main ninja, immediately press down and attack. Your trailing clone will drop a grenade on the ground. The orange ninja will run into it. That's it. But the worst pattern is he'll actually get stuck up here on top of the crusher, and when you go into the boss arena, the boss spawns and the orange ninja just walks out during the fight. And at that point, it's going to be hard not to collect that extra clone, and you're going to get a whole lot more lag when you fight and kill the stones, and you're going to lose time. And sadly, I have not found a good way to manipulate it. So, just be a reset point. Anyhow, I got a good pattern. Just keep on walking. You can tank the damage. And then you proceed with the quick kill. And again, it's just save state practicing, trying to get a good feel for the good setup, dealing a lot of damage quickly as the stones move through the pattern that you're used to. And that's it. There we go. Pretty quick kill. So immediately after this, I'm gonna do the cliff climb. Oh no, I missed it. I got greedy. I trimmed my jump too much. And I've forgotten which way I was going. You'll notice, since I mega misstep, now there's suddenly ninja all around. But in short, the advanced strat for the cliff is basically the same as the regular strat. You just gotta learn how to climb the cliff. Advanced strat here. Well, one, it's still hard. I don't have tips to make it less hard. I do have tips to make it more difficult, but a little bit faster. So one, you're still looking to not get a second clone. At least not yet. Fire shield, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But what you're looking for, when we get to the bow staff section of the level, so past the checkpoint. So, this can be a good place to get the third clone. At this point, if you get the second clone. If you get the second clone at this point, you probably aren't going to be causing a whole lot of lag just because of the clone. But the advanced strat here is to try to kill off as many of the kite ninjas as possible before they throw kunai. Because they will throw kunai, and they will throw so many kunai it will cause lag, and then you'll want to try to clear them out, and in the act of trying to clear them out, you'll cause more lag. It's tricky. So, here, let's go pick up that clone and not get killed. Okay. So you notice the kite The kite ninjas are flying in. The monks are flying in. I'm just trying to sweep him out as I can. Oh, see how I got that lag? It's because a few kite ninjas spawned behind me and immediately threw kunai. And that's just rough. So, you can try to tap backwards and shoot behind you while you're in the air. That's the short version. Lag reduction is the advanced strat. One here, yeah, just kill these guys. If someone could figure out a faster way to go through this boss, it would save so much time. But I don't think so. I think it's scripted. Did this come to North American arcades? I am not sure. They are pretty similar. The spirit, so to speak, is definitely intact. This was a good port. Okay, advanced strats for the last level. Honestly, it's just a refinement. You're looking to go quickly, to not stumble, to try to not take a lot of smoke damage. You can memorize where the smoke bombs are. I've only memorized where some of them are. But the goal is part of the challenge is like you need to jump in here. Oh, I'm only at 1 health. Not a good start. Oh, okay. Here, since I only have 1 hit point, I won't go for the super quick kill. I'll show what the safety kill looks like. It's more of a race strat. Like 1 hit point, you're almost certainly going to die if you just try to face off, so come over here, attack, there you go. So, at this point, I'm going to switch off the emulator and move to actual hardware. 2 reasons to do this. 1, well, I mean, I prefer to play on the actual hardware. I do have a TurboGrafx. And 2, I'm going to show you how I manipulate the turbo sliders. Because on the real hardware, you don't have 2 sets of buttons. You have buttons. And you have 3 settings. Single shot, aka just normal fire. Slow turbo, and fast turbo. Slow turbo is 4 cycles on, 4 cycles off. Fast turbo is 2 cycles on, 2 cycles off. So, for the whole game, you're going to want turbo off on button 1, which is jump. And you are going to alternate between fast and off. And you also get to see, you have a much easier time noticing like how much of the game I'm spending in single fire. Hey Gator, how's it going? Also just FYI, here, let me turn on the sound. Also, TurboGrafx has a soft reset. Hold run and press select. A no reboot. Note, if you are prone to fidgeting between levels, don't accidentally mash these buttons, because if you do, you'll probably reset. And as it turns out, resetting in the middle of a run is a good way to lose time. Okay, well now I'm just going to do some no reset runs. I won't bring up my splits because I don't have anywhere to put them, but that's fine. I'm going to be doing more race strats, so I'm not gonna purposely be as risky. I'll try to be more conservative in places. Like if it looks like I'm about to die, I'll try to alter my strats. I'll try to talk through it while I'm doing it, and you'll get to see me switching turbo settings. Hey Gator, yep, it's this ninja game. Ninja Spirit. Yes, the soft reset boss. Don't do that. Okay, let's go. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Hold right. Press select twice. Look around. Whoops, walk through that guy. Okay. That's the ideal spawn. You get both power-ups you need initially. You can grab that smart bomb, you cannot, doesn't really matter. Here, try to walk as much as I can, just jump over the ninjas that approach me from the right. And while I'm in the air, I can try to kill whatever jumping ninjas there are. Jump up on the next ledge. I already got my power-up, so I don't need to jump to collect any of these guys. Go ahead and sweep the trailing walking ninjas. Oh, yes. Now I know what wallpaper you're talking about. Okay, it's right there. Switch to fast turbo. Line up in the middle. And attack, attack, attack. That's it. And then switch back. Switch back to single fire. Right here. Am I going to the next level on single fire again? Now jump. Walk on the ground. So the orange ninja spawned to my left, so that's fine. I was going to drag him along. Jump and shoot down. Jump, shoot down. Ooh, I missed it. Walk through these trees. One orange ninja, two orange ninjas. Grab the flame shield. Keep on walking, just gonna walk through all of this. But, okay. Oops, I accidentally picked up the red power-up. Your wife said Jeff Goldblum was not sexy. Well, that's just not right. Turn on turbo. Line up on this tree trunk. Do a short jump. Aim up. And wait for the musical cue. There you go. Hop up here for swag. DD style. Oh, go back to single shot. Okay, start walking. Get ready for the rifleman. Jump. Doing a mix of straight down versus diagonals. Did not get caught flat-footed by the DeVito. Keep on going. Oops. Switch to sword. Start swinging. Oh, got a behind monk first. Oh, got a forward monk. So I took a few steps in the swamp there, just so I could let the bow staff pass over my head. So I continue walking. Oh, yep. Okay, we got a late. See there, I knew that last bow staff monk was late. So there, I switched to grenades and switched turbo on. Burn down my bow. Switch to single. Switch to single shot again. Yep. Well, I mean, the TurboGrafx in other regions, the PC Engine was very successful, but in the US, yep, there's the sad story of just uncapitalized on potential. Let's see. We're gonna get the second orange ninja. There. Good. That was good. Power up ninja luck. Turn on turbo. Got to this point. Oh, don't get killed. Oh no! I switched to sword for some reason. Why did I switch? Okay, now this one, leave turbo on. Because the first time you attack on the cliff level is going to be the boss. So you can just leave it on. Start your jumps. My timing is just loaded off with the kite boss, but that's fine. Just initially, turn off turbo. Focus on just killing it consistently before it starts to fly around the screen. Okay, here. Honestly, at first, just there's so much to deal with on this level that it's hard for me to say what to focus on first. Because, like, don't get one-shotted by the Ronin. That's solid. But also don't take too much incidental damage. But also don't do a lot of hesitation and standing around. You know, don't get killed by the bow staff monks. Don't try to kill off the kunai guys. Don't get hit by too many kunai. Also try not to stumble too much. If you're falling off one of the tiny little ledges, you can't jump. So I definitely did a few strategic hesitations in there, because a bow staff monk had appeared and it was sort of like, nope, if I'm in the air, so the bow staff monk was about to throw the staff into the air, and if I just hesitate a little bit on the ground, I can let it pass over my head, jump forward. I'll be honest, the way I learned how to deal with monks better was after doing sword percent. There is a second category on this game on the SRC leaderboards. I hesitate to say practicing sword percent is a good use of your time for racing, but I've already done it, and that did expand my knowledge of the game. So, but it's certainly not as strong a recommendation as, say, if you're going to race Contra. Learning low percent is actually a great backup move, because if you die, knowing how to deal with the pea shooter is a real boon. Turn on turbo now. Start falling down. We got 4 hit points, so we can just kill him. And there we go. So here, with that, I'm going to take a very short break to just walk around a little bit.